It's We'll See About That with World Series MVP Ron Cey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to We'll See About That. Ron Cey here with Mike Gary, and we are now in the middle of January, and we have lots of football still remaining. College football has finally gotten down to its championship game. We'll be following that on the following Monday. Plenty to talk about there, but we have some interesting things here, at least on the forefront. You know, last week when Pittsburgh played Baltimore, if you remember, the outcome of that game was that Mr. Harbaugh lost his job. Sure did. And it just so happens that in the last few days, after Pittsburgh lost, Mike Tomlin steps down as the Pittsburgh coach after 18 seasons, I believe. So, and he had 2 years remaining on his contract, which is ballsy, but interesting to see how that transpired.
Do you think that was that came from Art Rooney II, maybe maybe it's time to make a change here? Or do you think Mike Tomlin made that decision on his own?
I think it probably came from Mike Tomlin. I have great respect for him. I think he's put together a good program. I like who he is. And the owner, Art Rooney II, dismissed the idea that, he was going to rebuild after, Tomlin or whatever. But that came before, I think, the decision for Tomlin on his own to step down. Aaron Rodgers, as was stated in that game that they got eventually crushed, I think the score resembled more of what the game was looking like rather than it going into the fourth quarter with Houston dominating, only leading 10-6. But it was a tough day for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, he sacked himself at one point, fell over his own lineman, and I believe he didn't have a pass over. I think he had one pass over 13 yards. Is this the last we've seen of Aaron Rodgers, at least on a football field?
I don't know.
Probably see him on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple more times.
I don't know. He might milk somebody for another $50 million.
Start working for Robert Kennedy Jr. or something.
Well, I just, I found it, I don't know, kind of appropriate when he threw the last interception, and the guy runs it in, and he made. I don't even know why he ran over to the sideline to try to, tackle the guy, because when the guy made a move, it looked like he was just, a passerby, a pedestrian.
And if you notice, too, after he threw that last pick, too, you could see a clip of Aaron Rodgers screaming at his teammates.
Oh, no, he did that the whole game. I mean, I saw that 4 or 5 times. It was typical of who Aaron Rodgers, I think, really is, at least in my opinion.
All right, we'll be right back, folks. Stay with us.
They still call me the Penguin.
All right, we are back. Thank you for joining us. We'll see about that. The Ron Cey Show with the legend, the champion, the MVP, Mr. Ron Cey. And as always, just a reminder that Melissa's Produce is a proud partner of this high-quality broadcast. We'll see about that. Be sure to use Ron's VIP code, Ron Cey. That's Ron Cey, one word, RONCEY, when checking out at melissas.com. It's a good time to get your fruit baskets or your charcuterie board, which they both offer, for your Super Bowl party. Real fast, favorite Super Bowl snacks?
Oh, I mean, chili is got to be kind of on the list a little bit. The chips and dip. Just to me, it's an event. I think more. I don't know if the commercials are as great as they were in the past, or am I paying attention to them as much as I used to? But commercials have kind of gone in a different way. They kind of associate the product with the company rather than making it mold around like the hot dog or something.
Yeah.
And as an example, I don't know if I explained myself very well with that.
No, it totally makes sense. It seems like it's just more of about spectacle and actually trying to persuade somebody to buy their product.
It's like a little thing they put together, and this is brought to you by, so-and-so, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
By the way, Miller Lite is the #1 selling beer in the world.
If they want to send us a Miller Lite, we'd appreciate that. Or at least I would, that's for sure. Actually, I prefer Bud Light.
I believe it was, anyway.
All right, Ron, I understand that there's some stuff going on in the news that you want to address.
Well, once again, unfortunately, last week we had to introduce some things that current events, I mean, they right in front of our face, unfortunately. And at the time of the podcast, we did not get an opportunity to address, because it hadn't happened yet, the murdering by an ICE agent of a person in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And Renee Good. And it's horrifying. And you have a clip that this is kind of like, listen to the response.
I just want to set this up briefly because, that happened when we were taping last week, the murder of Renee Good, and I'm using the term murder purposely, and that shortly, about 10 minutes after that happened, before even, an investigation has been conducted, Kristi Noem, she goes up and wearing her cowboy hat and saying that Renee Good, saying this with completely no evidence or forethought whatsoever, that she was a domestic terrorist. And pretty much besmirching her good name. And I think in this next piece of sound from a press conference today with Ms. Levette, she's the White House press secretary, and she was addressing certain things, and I want to play that sound right now.
Earlier, you were just defending ICE agents generally, and earlier on, Secretary Noem spoke to the media, and she said, among other things, that they are doing everything correctly. 32 people died in ICE custody last year. 170 U.S. citizens were detained by ICE, and Renee Good was shot in the head and killed by an ICE agent. How does that equate to them doing everything correctly?
Why was Renee Good unfortunately and tragically killed?
Are you asking me my opinion? Because an ICE agent acted recklessly and killed her unjustifiably.
Oh, okay. So you're a biased reporter with a left-wing opinion.
What do you want me to do?
Yeah, because you're a left-wing hack. You're not a reporter. You're posing in this room as a journalist, and it's so clear.
Seems to be the constant refrain from the White House, that it's attack, 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 that it's obfuscate, that anybody who has, and this is an international reporter from Scotland, invited to the White House Correspondents Association to the White House to cover this story, and you see that whenever they don't like something, they will call you a left-wing agitator or biased or fake news, so on and so forth.
They're asking you to disregard what you saw. They are attacking you and not dealing with the tragedy, right?
Yeah.
They did not do that with Mr. Kirk, did they?
They did not, no.
Okay. So right away, this is horrific. This is another skirting of the issue. Deal with the problem. And instead, she attacks him, saying, you're nothing but a left-wing supporter, which has nothing to do with anything at this point in time. He asked her an opinion, and she couldn't give it. She just decided to go off. This is why I dislike what's going on here. We have absolutely no chance of being able to move to a better place when you have people who will not allow you and tell you that you did not see what you just saw.
Yeah, we talked about this before we started, that the gaslighting, I think, is the most frustrating part for me, when they're telling you to believe things that you see are not true right in front of you. And I mean, that is like kind of the playbook, the Rule 1 playbook of a totalitarian state, when they tell you what you see with your own eyes is not true. And what is ultra frustrating as well is that so many people believe what they see is not true, even though it is true, just based off their worldview.
Well, exactly. So, disregard the truth and just take what we say as being what we want you to believe and believe it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Can't do that.
Well, I mean, we can maybe start, thinking about buying our summer homes on Greenland once we invade Greenland.
True.
So,
yeah,
I mean,
well, is that a direct order?
Because we've seen, that Miss President Trump says that anything less than U.S. control of Greenland is unacceptable. We're at the point, folks, where Britain and France
sending troops
and Germany are sending troops, our strongest NATO allies. Right. Yeah. The guys that stood side by side with us after 9/11, the only time that Article 5 has been invoked after it was established with NATO was after we were attacked on 9/11. They stood with us, but yet now they are so worried that this crazy man is going to invade Greenland that they're sending troops.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, how about, the protests in Iran? How about, how about the fact that we've alienated Mexico? We did that like the first term when we called them rapists and thugs and drug dealers and bad people, right? Canada, who's been a big ally, we continue to just disappoint me with that arrangement. Venezuela, Ukraine, Russia, how that's working out. Cuba, what else is there? Who else can we alienate? I don't know. I'm getting extremely concerned about it. We're spreading ourselves real thin. And didn't Reggie Jackson have something to say, which I think?
Well, this. I mean, it's
Mark Ruffalo spoke out.
It's hilarious how this is like the last, kind of the throwaway to this segment is that we have the Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, an independent financial regulatory body, head of the central bank. The Trump administration they're going to try to investigate him because they don't like him because, it's, according to his expert judgment, he wants to keep interest rates where they are. Right. And President Trump does not want that. He wants interest rates lower because that makes him look better. And so now they're going to investigate Jerome Powell about misuse of funds for revamping the Fed building itself while you have Mr. Trump building a $900 million ballroom next to the White House. But Reggie Jackson, friend of the show, he said, thank you, Jamie Dimon, because Jamie Dimon called out Trump about this Jerome Powell situation. He says, thank you for stating reasonable facts about the undermining of our Fed Chair Powell. Thanks for standing up to the administration for their bullying. I salute you, sir. Glad to have met you in Houston a while back. Sad that politicians are scared of our leader. Speaking of Jerome Powell.
Well, I can tell you that social media is off the charts about all of this stuff. You name it. Each one that we've had, and I even left off Jerome Powell. Even the CEOs of all the banks are telling you, quit screwing around with the interest rates. You're messing with the economy. Not a good idea. The tariffs, all of it. Anyway, we're going to move to hopefully a
brighter,
better place in the next set. Yeah.
Stick around, you guys. We're going to talk some sports after this break. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to check out Ron's website, theronsayshow.com, where you can find all of our podcast archives. And you can also order a copy of his fantastic book, Penguin Power. It's available on that website or on Amazon.com or anywhere fine books are sold. And stick around. We'll be right back.
Hello, Ron Say.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. It's the Ron Say Show. We'll see about that with the Legend Champion MVP, Mr. Ron Say. I am Mike Gary. Make sure to follow Ron on Instagram, The Real Ron Say. Also on Facebook, facebook.com/Ron Say. And check out his fantastic book, Penguin Power, available on theronsayshow.com. I'm Mike Gary, and I'm joined by our senior NFL correspondent, Mr. Corey Marino. Corey, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Very well indeed. So we picked him last week. We were pretty good, not bad. But to recap, we in the wildcard weekend results, we had the Rams defeat the Panthers. I think we all had the Rams.
38 seconds it took. Last 38 seconds.
Yes. The Bears defeated the Green Bay Packers. Great game.
Yeah.
I believe that's I had the Bears.
We had the Bears.
Well.
We all had the Bears.
Yeah, we all had the Bears. Very funny to see all the cheese graters come out after that. And then the following day, we had the Bills defeating the Jaguars. I think we pretty much...
That went down to the wire, too, man. I will tell you that they have... the games have really been exciting. All of them have come down to, just like it did in many, many games this year. I've never seen more last-second game-winning field goals in my time watching these games. Yeah. Unbelievable.
It's as a side, both the wild card and then the weekend before, it's just there's so many last minute drives that the teams had to go down, 2 minutes the whole length of the field, which is very, very exciting. Bills beat the Jaguars. The 49ers beat Philadelphia on the road.
Yeah.
And so they are moving on, though they did lose Craig Kittle.
Well, they, it was interesting because I'm not the only one who has paid attention to this. They were without their 2 wide receivers. Ayuk, who hasn't played for 2 years now. I don't expect him back with the team. Ricky Pearsall, he's been out a number of games. He wasn't available. As it turns out, they were without Fred Warner and Bosa, their 2 All-Pro defensive players. They had their number 5, 6, and 7 linebackers on the depth chart playing in this game. Other injuries, Trent Williams came back. He's their All-Pro left tackle after missing 3 or 4 games. And then in the first quarter, George Kittle goes down. And it's been one of those unbelievable coaching stories, I think, in the way that they've been able to have their players step up and fill some really big shoes. And Christian McCaffrey, again, delivered. They all delivered. What a great game. The defense played out of their mind against Philadelphia, who wasn't very creative anyway. But they were they got it done. I didn't mind, losing the pick, because I wanted the 49ers to win anyway.
Yeah.
And so now
well, to be fair, Ron, you said that you kind of couched it. You both sides it. You said that your heart wanted the 49ers, but your brain was picking the Eagles. So
well,
I went with your heart. So
I don't mind being wrong on this. I'll lose the bet to have my team move forward. And the good part about it is, my 2 teams that I follow that closely, one of them is going to get to the NFC Championship game with an opportunity to get to the Super Bowl. So that turned out great.
Let me ask you guys, Corey, you first. If Christian McCaffrey retires at the end of the season, is he a first ballot Hall of Famer?
First ballot would be hard, but he'll definitely be a Hall of Famer. First ballot, he deserves it, but he got injured a lot.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 good years, 2 injuries. 2 good years, 2 injuries. And I don't think, because I think he'd be, if he did it this year, I feel like he's at year 8. So no, I don't think he'd make it first ballot.
What about you, Ron?
I think he's a Hall of Famer. Whether or not he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, I mean, that's kind of icing on the cake, if you will. I mean, I think if he plays a few more years, there's definitely that possibility. But I mean, he ended up second overall in all-purpose yards. He was like he caught 100 passes this year for running back. Okay. He ended up top 10 in rushing as well. So he had an unbelievable year. Plus he had 16 regular season touchdowns, maybe more, and then he got 2 in the playoff game against Philadelphia. One with a great catch over the head with that trick play that they ran at reverse with the pass, and then catching that scramble play from Purdy in the end zone that clinched it in the last minute or 2 of the game or whatever it was. Great effort. Really pleased with the 49ers. They're going to have their hands full because Seattle didn't allow them to do much. So I'm a winner either way. I'm really glad that one of these 2 teams is going to move forward.
Of course, we talked in the opening of the Pittsburgh Steelers blown out by the Texans 30-6, ending both Mike Tomlin and hopefully Aaron Rodgers' careers. So let's move on to let's pick them, fellas. We got our divisional round matches. This Saturday, Saturday's going to be a great day. Saturday, we have Corey, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we have the Buffalo Bills, the 6th seed, at the number 1 seed, who are all coming off the bye, our Denver Broncos.
I'm going to go with the Broncos. The Bills are
really
surprise.
The Bills are favored, and the Broncos did play them last year, and they scored a quick touchdown in the first drive on a big 63-yard touchdown, and then didn't do anything. But they've grown this year, and I think the defense got better, and I think that that Josh Allen doesn't have enough weapons, and I think we'll be able to cage Superman for a little bit.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't want Buffalo to win. Okay?
Really? Why not?
No.
Poor Buffalo.
I think they've been, this in this battle before, and they remind me kind of like the old Buffalo Bills with
Jim Kelly,
Scott
Norwood, and all those guys.
And, it's like, you guys are bound to break through at some point in time. But, I just think that they rely too much on Josh. I really do. And I know that they had, the number 1 rusher this year?
Yeah, they had James Cook.
Yeah, and so their rushing game is good. I think Denver's Denver's defense is going to stop the run. I think so. So that's going to force Josh Allen to, be at his best and scramble. And I think Denver at home, I'd like to see Denver win. I think they've got enough. I think Bo Nix is a fine quarterback. I don't know if he's a top 10 quarterback.
Really?
But I think, when you look at all the other guys.
There's a lot of talk about him for MVP this year.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of talk. I mean, Stafford, I think, has probably locked it up.
Yeah.
Especially with this last fourth quarter drive that he did, regardless of what happens from here on out. But I like Denver to win. I do. I hope that Corey's team gets to the championship game.
This is hard for me to say. Growing up, I loved the Broncos. I loved John Elway. I loved the Peyton Manning years. But I honestly, and this is a heart pick more than a head pick. I think it's the Buffalo Bills. I think that Josh Allen sees the quarterback landscape, and he sees that there might be an opening for best quarterback in the league in terms of not MVPs and stuff like that, but just the guy that you see on TV, the guys that get in the commercials, the guy that's showing up on. And Patrick Mahomes is that guy for a long time.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is not here this year.
Yeah.
And I think Josh Allen sees that this is his opportunity to maybe surpass Patrick Mahomes as the golden boy quarterback in the NFL.
Well, by the way, you mentioned Kansas City, and not to divert, but just a minute. Do you see that they've kind of opened the door and did a house cleaning?
Yeah.
Yeah, they let 7 big players on their team go. I mean, boom. So they are going to be in transition, and that leaves kind of the reins being left with Patrick Mahomes and kind of a bare cupboard.
I imagine them to make some moves. Corey would probably have more insight about this, but we'll see. What I would imagine they're going to trade for draft picks, correct?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have a middle pick, so they're around 10 to 13. So I think they're actually just they're gonna be bad for another year, just retool for 2 straight years. Because even when Patrick comes back, he's gonna be, if he starts week 1, he's coming off that ACL injury. So
yeah, this probably gives them impetus to make sure that he doesn't come back too early.
Yeah, he can go. You can take the year off. You can work at that steakhouse that him and Kelsey own together. It'd be fun.
Travel with
Brittany, and Taylor and all that. Go on tour, hang
do
out.
The roadies.
Exactly. Backup singers, backup dancers. All right, let's pick one more before we hit this next break.
Houston.
Well, hold on. Ron, this is the Civil War in your house right now. This is like if Washington State was playing Oregon. This is San Francisco versus Seattle Seahawks, your two teams.
Yeah. Look, I as I said before, I love the 49ers. They have been my all-time favorite. And being from the Northwest, once we had a team up there, I adopted the Seahawks. And I'm a Washington guy. I'm going to root for the teams in state, the college teams in state, the high school players, the whatever. Anybody who comes from the state of Washington, I'm going to have a boost behind it. So I think Seattle quite possibly could be the best team in the NFL. Their defense is right there with Houston, I think, and they're playing home games. I think they've got enough, and by the way, they were able to really limit San Francisco to what they did was a strong showing. I think San Francisco will probably tweak it and do a little bit better this time around, but I think Seattle's going to be the one to beat.
Yeah, I think the only way you usually beat Seattle is to get Darnold seeing ghosts, and I don't think the 49ers have the defensive line. Because that's how you beat him. You blitz him and you get him, and he makes all these mistakes, but I don't think they're just too short-handed on the defensive line and the linebackers to, I think, make a difference against Darnold.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 2 picks for Seattle here. I believe I have Seattle as well, just because it's so hard to play there. They have a great home field advantage. San Francisco is totally decimated by injuries, and we'll see about that, I guess. All right, we're going to pick some more games right after the break, you guys. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. As always, check out Ron's fantastic website, theronsayshow.com. Follow him on Instagram, The Real Ron Say. Also available on special requests on Cameo. And check out his fantastic book, Penguin Power, available where fine books are sold. Stay with us. All right, we are back. We'll see about that. And an abbreviated This Week in Dodger History this week. Real fast, former Cardinal pitcher. This is 1981. Cardinal pitcher Bob Gibson is the only player elected to the Hall of Fame. Gibson won 20 games 5 times, struck out 3,117 batters, and captured the Cy Young and MVP in 1968 with a 1.12 ERA. Not going to see that again.
No, you won't. I have fond memories of Bob Gibson. What an incredible pitcher. The amount of complete games that he threw. I mean, nobody touched him. I mean, can you imagine having a 1.12 earned run average for the whole season?
Yeah.
I think that's when they decided they were going to change the height of the mound too.
Yeah.
Because wasn't it in 1968 or 9 that Carl Yastrzemski was the only he was the batting champion in the American League, and they only had one hitter above 300, so they decided to make some changes.
Yeah.
Just like they're making in Kansas City.
Yeah,
with the
hold on.
fences.
We're going to get to that. 'Cause
Jesus.
That's
Crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
We got 2 more games to pick here, fellas.
Okay.
We have, this is the AFC, number 5 seed, the Houston Texans versus the 2 seed New England Patriots.
New England's had a great year. I don't think that you can just brush them aside and say, it's just one of those things. I think they're legitimate, but the way that Houston manhandled Detroit or Pittsburgh, and take this into consideration now, they lost their first 3 games of the year. Okay, they're pretty much not going anywhere by the metrics. And then they roll off, 12-2, and Stroud missed 3 or 4 games, Corey?
3.5.
3.5 games. Their defense is unreal. I'm not even afraid to say that they could possibly be better than Seattle's. But I think New England's going to have a real tough time moving the ball.
I agree. I think the defense is going to stop them. The only unfortunate thing is that Houston, they have Nico Collins, their all-star wide receiver. He had a concussion, and they played on Monday, so it's very rough. Luckily, they play on Sunday. Well, I think the NFL had to make them. They couldn't make a team play on Monday than Saturday. But it's going to be rough because that's like a lot of their big plays. I think the defense will be able to hold them, but we'll see what they can do. I hope the Texans win. I think they'll win, but it's going to be closer than I thought.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too, because, Stroud had a horrible game.
He had 5 fumbles.
Five fumbles. And part of them were 2 snaps that were, from the center.
Yeah.
And then he scrambles and he loses 2 fumbles. Then he throws a pick. Not a great game. I mean, there isn't anything to be feeling good about that. That stalls your offense. And if you can't do better than that against a team that's, better than what you just faced on the road, and you don't know whether you can run the football either. Okay, so I mean, I think it's going to be a very low-scoring game.
It's going to be exactly like the Charger game because it's going to be. The Patriots had 30 pressures on Herbert in that game, and so I think it's going to be exactly that. I think it's going to be like 16-10. Something very low again.
Wow. Yeah.
I agree with everything you guys said. I think that whoever's defense plays better that day is going to win the game. I think offense is going to be secondary in Foxborough in those conditions. I do have to say the analytics, I know we like to talk about it, the New England Patriots have had just a super easy schedule this year. And I think that the Houston Texans defense is one of the best defenses I've seen in many, many years. And so I'm picking the Houston Texans as well. All right, our hometown Rams, the Los Angeles Rams, the 5th seed at the formerly what was known as Soldier Field, the Chicago Bears.
Wow, this is I am so glad that the Bears got in. What a game they played down the stretch last week against Green Bay at home. You saw Williams finally be able to just absolutely go off, and their defense was great. He had a great game at the quarterback spot, made the plays. His skilled players did a really nice job, too. I think the Bears' defense is going to be difficult for the Rams to handle. Plus, you've got, the Rams have had a great year, and they are a Super Bowl caliber team. And Stafford quite possibly could be the MVP. I'm picking the Bears.
Okay.
Nicely done. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think Ben Johnson's too good at making plays up, and I think it's going to be a lot like how the game went last week for the Rams. I think they're going to either go up early a little bit, like 14-3 or 14-0, because Caleb's going to make a mistake in the beginning, because I think he's still got a lot to do and a lot of growth to happen. And then I think they're just going to both just be scoring touchdowns left and right. I think it's gonna be like 38-42 or something like that.
Wow, that's just like the 49er.
But I think I'm gonna give it to McVay and Stafford to pull out that last drive, and I think the magic for the Bears is up.
Well, this will speak nicely into our new segment, our new feature here, the Degenerate Gambler Corner with Corey Marino, because all these games that we've mentioned, there's the over-unders are all under 50.
Yeah.
And so what Corey's saying to you degenerate gamblers out there is that you should bet the over on the Rams-Bears game. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it's at like 48. I think that's the highest one.
Ooh.
So I think it's at 48. So I'll take the over on that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because they both have high-octane offenses.
It is going to be in Chicago, the outdoor stadium.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It's going to be cold.
It's going to be cold. And the thing that bothers me, though, about the Rams is that, they probably had the easiest team to play against, and Carolina beat them. And they also took them right down to the last 38 seconds. Yeah, it was on the road, but that's a lot of points to be given up to a team that, won the division with a sub-500 record. I don't know. Maybe there's nothing to it, but I think the Bears are a lot better. They're a number 2 seed. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see the Bears get back in it.
Okay. And Corey, who'd you have again?
I had the Rams.
Yeah, he's got the Rams.
Okay, write that down. I have the Rams too. I think that Matt Stafford's on a mission. I think similar to what I said about Josh Allen earlier. I think that Matt Stafford's feeling the same way. I feel that he thinks his window is closing as he ages. I think he also wants to, get a ring the same year that his best friend Clayton Kershaw got one, both late in their careers. I think that's going to be a motivating factor.
Is his thumb a problem at this point in time?
No, I think they said it. They said he'll be fine. They said they worked on it throughout the week and they'll be fine. But my little crazy hot take will kind of pull back to where if we think Rodgers is going to be retiring. I think my thing is if he wins MVP, if Matthew Stafford wins MVP and wins the championship, I think he retires, and I think Rodgers goes and plays for the Rams for a year.
Really? Wow.
Because if you put Rodgers on that team, they're going to do just as well as not just as well. He's not going to throw for 47 touchdowns, but he'll throw for 40.
Do you think that?
Wow.
Do you honestly think, Corey?
Wow.
Do you think though? That's a hot take.
You heard it from Corey here. You heard it first.
Do you think that all these West Coast elite Rams fans on the liberal West Coast are going to tolerate Aaron, Mr. Iokoska, RFK Jr., Rodgers?
He's got some of that LA chronic with him. He'll just get a nice little smoke circle going around with him, and he'll be fine.
I will never be a season ticket holder if that happens. There's got to be a better choice at this point in time. The guy's on his last leg. Come on. If
he
you
flamed
gotta
out
go
with
get somebody who's going to take you into the
He was
future.
also looking at the Vikings last year too, so if they want to put him against McCarthy, I think that might happen too.
He flamed out with the Jets, got their coach fired. He was okay this year, but mostly the Steelers' defense, carried him through. He pretty much ran that coach out of town. That's a great take.
He also has teammates. I don't want this guy on my team.
No. Oh, I wouldn't want him on
I
my
don't
team.
want my team.
I think if he wants one last hurrah, and I think if Stafford's gone.
You've heard it first here, man.
We have to go to Polymarket or something and see what the odds are for that, because that's a take and a half. All right, gentlemen.
Well, how about all the coaches that have lost their jobs? Isn't there like 8 or 9 guys?
I got the list right here. I got Mike McDaniel and his capri pants fired. John Harbaugh fired, but circling the Giants Giants for a $100 million contract.
Wow.
Pete Carroll fired. We could talk hours for that, how Tom Brady kind of really messed that whole situation up. Kevin Stefanik for the Browns fired. Raheem Morris for the Falcons fired. Jonathan Gannon, the Cardinals fired. Brian Callahan, he was fired midseason by the Titans. Brian Dabble, midseason of the Giants as well. And, of course, Mike Tomlin stepped down.
Well, there's going to be a lot of head coaching jobs available. They're going to be spinning a lot of wheels.
Yep, there's going to be.
Which one of those jobs would you like?
Oh, that's a great question.
Huh? I mean, if you're taking, all of those teams are not elite teams.
It's the Giants would like. The Giants are taken by, but that was good. I think the Ravens are a good job. You still get Lamar.
Yeah.
Other than that, all of them are pretty bad. I don't like the Cardinals are a wasteland in the West. Atlanta Falcons don't know what the owner and the GM. They fired the GM, so that's better. The Browns, I would never even step foot. It's just insane what they do to coaches and quarterbacks, and it's just
the Browns are
4 quarterbacks. I think
the Browns are a wasteland. The Las Vegas Raiders, you have to worry about what's going on with their owner, Mr. Davis, and his haircut, and also how much Tom Brady's gonna be involved. I think the best jobs
do get the first pick though, and probably for Mendoza, which we will be going. We have the championship coming up between Indiana and Miami.
Exactly.
I have a question.
Oh, please.
Is Tom Brady
He's not
younger than Phillip Rivers?
Oh, that's a good question.
He's not.
Huh? He's not.
He's not.
No, because there's all sorts of.
He's
weird,
not.
That's why it's so weird with the Raiders, is because he can't actually be a GM because there's like all these weird rules about being an owner and also working for the team.
I'm not talking about GM here. I'm talking about him coming
well, you have
out
to
of
give
retirement.
up. You can't own. You can't own a piece of the team and play for the team.
But you
That's a
could
salary
step
cap
down,
violation.
couldn't you? I mean,
you'd have to sell his stake. Whatever it is, like .000005%.
But he'd get all of his benefits back.
I don't think he needs the benefits. He got 360 from.
He just opened a card shop too in the Bellagio in Las Vegas.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Card show?
Card shop.
Okay, card shop.
A minute left, guys. We got to pick it for the national championship a week from Monday.
Ooh,
of course, we have Indiana 15-0 versus Miami snuck in at the 10 seed, 13-2, real fast.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, I think that earlier. I think Indiana has been the most complete team. They have beaten the teams that they should beat by the margins that they should have beaten them, and they won all their big games. They beat Oregon on the road early. They beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, and they crushed Alabama and they crushed Oregon. I see more of the same. I don't think they'll crush Miami, but I think they'll win convincingly.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to crush Oregon, but they still did that, and I think they're going to win convincingly as well. They're riding this train, and Serengeti, he's got those guys playing with their hair on fire.
Absolutely, this is a team of destiny. I think that Indiana's going to win and win big. Stick around, be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us. All right, we are back. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Wrapping things up here in the Ron Say Show. We'll see about that. As always, check out Ron's fantastic website, theronsayshow.com. Our complete archives with all of our guests, with for example, the aforementioned Reggie Jackson or any of our other great guests over the years. And also make sure to follow him on Instagram, The Real Ron Say, on Facebook, Ron Say as well, and also available for special requests on Cameo. All right, guys, wrapping things up here. A little bit of miscellaneous news here. The Kansas City Royals. They're a little concerned about their lack of scoring, so they've got a solution, Ron. Their solution is to move the fence in their stadium in 10 feet.
How to dilute your game again. You're just inviting more runs again. We're going to have more hits, more runs scored, more players with elevated statistics because you've got a need for more offense. Why don't they move the fences back in Colorado then? Okay? Mm-hmm. I mean, do you really want to see 15 to 12 scores all the time? I don't know. I don't like it when they start manipulating that. I think Kansas City was a fair ballpark. Bobby Witt seems to be doing just fine there, along with a few others. Their catcher, their potential Hall of Fame catcher. I don't know. I don't like it because now, you've got guys who are hitting 25 home runs at that shouldn't be. They're probably hitting 15. Maybe that's too much of an elevation there. But I'm not thrilled when they start moving the fence.
You hit 317 career home runs
Yeah.
in your career.
Yeah.
If they move the fence into Dodger Stadium 10 feet, do you think you'd have 450?
Oh, I think that's fair. I mean, yeah, sure. But it's, it's hard to equate that because they said, well, that would have been a home run, in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been a home run in Dodger Stadium or whatever. And it really doesn't matter. Either it is or it isn't. It's where you play. And, Dodger Stadium was always a fair ballpark, and, it was always one of the tougher parks to hit home runs. I don't know if that is still the same metric that plays today, but, I always felt like, let's not have guys going oppo that can't. Okay. Let's have guys that hit home runs, and the other guys not. Okay. If you can't do it, don't give them the opportunity. It's like running. You can run 80 meters now instead of 100 meters to win.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's just, the baseball is based off history, and you're messing with history. All right, we're out of time. Thank you so much.
Right.
Enjoy the games, fellas. Enjoy the games.
Thanks for joining us.